Another day, another thought. Welcome out to another edition of the Double Thought Show. We hope you guys are doing well. As you guys know, I'm RJ here together with my co-host KR. KR, what's up, man?
What's up, everyone?
Hey, thanks for everyone that's checking out this show. Remember to like the show. Remember to comment and share your thoughts and opinions with us. But most importantly, if you haven't done so already, remember to subscribe to this channel because this guys helps us monetize the channel and this in turn will help us upgrade the production of our shows. We have a good one for you today, so sit back and enjoy today's show.
Yes, guys. So,
Where do we begin?
where do we begin? So, in today's show, we are focusing on Ja Morant, the Billy the Kid of the NBA, the slinger, the real deal, guys. If you haven't noticed yet, if you've been laying under a rock, you've been in hibernation. Nike app, the website, has removed Ja Morant's sneaker listings. I guess being a real one is actually being a real dumb.
Guess so.
Anyway, guys, it's been going. Ja has been in a downward spiral since he started brandishing the blicky. Do you have something to say about this, RJ?
No, I mean he started with. I mean it's been a rough year for Ja Morant. Uh,
Rough year, rough a couple of months. What are we talking about? It's been only 3 months.
yeah, well, if you take into account what happened last summer as well, where
Okay.
he punched, where he slapped a high schooler and then flashed them,
Hey,
flashed.
like a real gangster do, right? You
So,
attack smaller people. Anyway, continue.
so if we take that into account, followed by what happened in February, I believe this year, when I think that's when he went to the club, right? When the picture came out. Oh no! In February, what happened was, I believe, there was an incident with the Pacers team in February where there was an altercation with, I believe, the friend that was on the live. No, so the live
Yeah, recording.
yeah. So that friend, uh, Ja and him were in a car, and the Pacers team and or the let's say staff members, bodyguards, and whatnot reported that someone allegedly pointed a laser blinky on them. So, and that,
It's
but they
Blicky.
couldn't
It is Blicky.
blicky, yeah, blicky. So, and they couldn't prove that it was him that the Ja was involved. But a month later, Ja said, "Well, I'm gonna give you one more chance." That's when he went on live. That was when he was at a club. And
The
remember
exotic club you're talking about.
what did you say?
The exotic club.
The Exotic Club. And I
Mm.
believe we showed, did we show? I don't know if we showed the picture,
Mm.
but there was a picture, guys. Go check it out. There was a picture of him sitting in a private room with dollar bills covering the floor. I mean, that's crazy, man.
Who's this dude? Who's this dude?
They
Oh,
get, they
man.
get, they get as a NBA team pushed out the playoffs almost immediately. There's the whole incident with the teammate as well, his teammate as well, who it's a rough year for the Grizzlies, man. The teammate, I forgot his name, but he was prof, prof he was he tried to be provocative towards LeBron, tried to get in LeBron's head. Well, that didn't work, and now the team said we don't want you on the team, Dylan Brooks. They said Dylan Brooks, you're shameful for our team. Go away. And 1 week or 2 weeks later, here comes Ja to the rescue with another incident.
Hey man, before we continue, RJ, because we've given you guys a preview of what we're going to talk about. Can you drop the disclaimer so
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
anyone knows. Those who cannot read, in the description, we also give them a verbal disclaimer. Please.
Yes, yes. Guys, remember the views, opinions, and uh, or at least especially the views and opinions we show here on the Double Thought channel, specifically those shown in videos, documents, and news articles, do not necessarily reflect the thoughts and opinions of KR, myself, nor this channel. Remember that all topics we discuss here on the channel we do for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised, and all commentary is alleged because here on the Double Touch Show we don't know anything. So if you need any specific assistance in a particular area of your life, be it legal, life, business, or whatever kind of assistance you need, we urge you to seek
Cannot do CPR from here. From here,
out the
guys.
support from the from the professionals in that field. For everything else relating to Double Thought to entertainment, we welcome you to the Double Thought Show. Let's continue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is weird. Anyway,
Hora do show!
it's showtime, guys. So, as we already discussed slightly, what we are going to talk about today, we are going to discuss this whole Ja Morant situation. And before I continue, I think, guys, I can show you. We have a couple of months ago. It's almost 2 months ago. We basically discussed it real short in a, back then it was called a late night. It's basically the break room.
Yeah.
We discussed real short about him blowing 50K on dancers, waving the blicky, getting suspended, and we asked ourselves, if I'm not mistaken, is he a NBA pookie? Or is he just a dummy and victim of a toxic culture? I think we got the answer. Today we're going to discuss that answer to that question. Maybe he's revealed himself. Maybe. I mean, RJ might look at this differently. I'm of the opinion that we should give everyone a chance to be themselves. And maybe Ja is showing to everyone that this is Ja,
Yeah.
a gunslinger. Oh, I shouldn't use the word. Anyway, a Billy the Kid, the new Billy the Kid of the Memphis area. Before we continue, let's take a look at what has been said already about this whole situation. JJ Reddick was on TV talking craziness, trying to make this a political move. It was out of this world. He was talking about the GOP politician who was also showing a gun in already.
Come on.
I'm cooked already. They were posing with their blicky in a Christmas card, and he was making it a whole craziness. I mean, at the end of the day, what do you think about that situation with JJ?
I understand. So, from what I understood, his point was that he didn't do anything illegal, and he compared the situation with politicians who also did the same. So they were basically, I mean, it's the second amendment, right? So it's like we have the right to carry arms, and that's what we're doing basically. But I think there is a difference, KR, and I believe you were talking about this off air. I think there's a difference between what you do or how you do something, right?
The
So
context.
yeah, the context. So I think you mentioned it, that if you are, for example, at a range and that's something different than waving it in the car.
At night,
Why?
playing NBA YoungBoy,
The first time was at night. The second time was uh, during.
playing NBA YoungBoy, which he's talking about spinning the block on the ups. It's the context. But
Is the
okay, maybe the GOP was playing Tupac in the back. Well, when when they were taking the picture, who knows?
all eyes on me. Yeah, I don't know, man. But so I do think that context matters. But I also think that, let's say, you also have the rules of the organization you form part of. So, for example, you can wear whatever you want outside of your work hours. But if you work at a bank, you have a certain dress code that you would need to abide to, right? And you can say, hey, but hey, this is, I have the freedom to express myself and wear whatever I want. It doesn't work like that.
Money
So,
teller wearing bikini. Who wouldn't want that?
exactly, that's a different kind of banking.
You know you're getting scammed if the
The,
anyway.
the deposit isn't in money, but
Put the
put it in the
oh,
vault. No, but so it's different. So I think that JJ Reddick was making a point talking about the law, but the law is not always in all situation the highest law that you would need to abide to, right? So you also have like specific rules, and it doesn't need to be of an organization. Let me just give an example. If you form part of a, if you form part of a, or let's say you go watch a game, and after the game, some people, so you're in a bus heading back home with other fans, and you guys stop at a convenience store to get some things. But you know, those drunk people, they start stealing, etc. I know people that said that in those moments they stole because they felt like if they didn't steal, they wouldn't, the group would have ousted them. They would have made them outcasts. So sometimes, you know, the peer pressure plays a bigger role than the laws. And I think that, or other rules. So you have various rules that can coexist together. And I think JJ was alluding to the Second Amendment, and I mean, there's something to be said about that. But you take part of an organization, and they have this. So they have rules uh, relating to. So when you're part of the NBA, you need to represent the NBA. You need to represent the organization, and any act that is detrimental to the reputation of the organization can have consequences. So I do think that I think that technically speaking, JJ might have a point, but in this particular case, I don't see any other. Yeah, it's nothing political.
JJ, in my opinion, is talking BS. To be honest, let's if you put it into context, only thing I have to ask JJ is, I don't know if he has a kid or not. Would he want his kid driving with a blicky with a friend and brandishing it? That's the only thing I need to know.
Yeah.
And he has to be honest about that situation. Don't try to wiggle out of that one. A second thing I have to say is this, and maybe that wasn't right to ask, but it is what it is. People always, when it's someone else, they have a different standard against if you compare it to their own family. Would you want that for a kid? I don't think so. It tarnishes the brand of the player itself because you're trying to portray something that's not marketable.
Yeah, but yeah, continue.
Second, kids don't look up to a politician who's in the backwoods with a gun on the Christmas card. They look up at this guy.
Yeah.
So basically, Kids look up to Ja. They see Ja waving the blicky in the car, and they think, and kids are impressionable. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Kids will watch this and think, oh, that's cool. Let me open that safe. Let's show the ops what we got.
Yeah. Well, I think that with regards to the kid thing, whether or not, let's say you would want it for a kid, that's a different conversation, right? So it's just like,
With kid, I mean son,
yeah,
or
yeah,
brother. Could be off age, could be. I'm not talking about underage or not. I'm talking about his son who's off. If he has a son, let's say he has a son right now, and later on he's off age, above 18. For those who don't know, would he want that for his son? And whether it's, I'm not talking about underage. I'm not.
yeah, yeah. Well, I get that, but what I'm saying is this: you, I believe in the freedom of speech. So I believe someone needs to be able to say some. People should be able to express themselves, right?
Always.
But at the same time, let's say I can stand for something. Let's say someone says something that I don't agree with, and that person gets backlash for it, right? I can disagree with what the person said and still think that let's say he shouldn't have been canceled for what he said. So those are two different things.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's not just, so the fact that JJ said that, so the fact that JJ referred to other politicians and how those people can do things without bearing the consequences, and Ja couldn't in his particular situation. I mean, and he was saying that he shouldn't have. So the fact that his stance is that Ja shouldn't be punished for what he did doesn't necessarily mean that he has to agree with what he did. I'd say morally speaking. So it seems like he was speaking more from a legal point, legal perspective than a moral perspective. And that's what I have to say about that.
Who gives a heck about legal perspective when kids are seeing this stuff on their IG?
I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you. So that's not the point. I agree with you. But all I'm saying is that the fact that JJ is of the opinion that Ja shouldn't be punished for what he did as severely as they want to punish him does not necessarily mean that he agrees with what he did. So I can agree that I can disagree with something that someone said, but agree that that person has the right to say it. So it seems like a paradox, but I do agree with you. Let's say from a morally speaking, it's not a good look.
It's definitely not a good look, and Nike thought the same. Nike thought we might have to separate ourselves from this dumb stuff. How can we sell shoes to people if the guy is a Billy the Kid of the NBA? No one wants to buy shoes from Billy the Kid, other than other Billy the Kids. But how do they come to their money? Anyway, guys. So Nike has removed the sneakers. You cannot make this up. The shoes are called Hunger. I'm gonna zoom in, guys. I'm gonna zoom in. Ja Morant, Ja 1 Hunger sneakers. I mean, did Nike already knew that this was? Is this the promotion?
Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know, but I think this is going the wrong direction for Ja. I don't know. Do you know how much money he's making? right now?
No, they're talking about a $200 million. So they
Oh yeah,
in the media.
he just signed a new contract, right?
Yeah, and for example, in the he was already suspended for or 8 games this season, and I think they mentioned that he lost 600,000 for the 6 games.
Yeah, but
So, but
uh,
I think he has a $200 million contract, something to that extent. So,
so I don't
uh,
know how much he would get. What his cut is of this shoe at Nike, but I guess he's gonna lose that as well now. Other than also the full, because one thing that has been said. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
I see a 5 year. He signed a 5 year deal worth almost $200,000. Yeah,
200 million, you mean?
$1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what has been said. Stephen A. Smith claims NBA want to suspend Ja Morant for the year after second pistol waving incident. 2 months, while Shannon Sharp rages at Star. You make 40 million and you want to live that life? A year suspension. Will we look back at this time in his career after he retires and conclude that Ja might be one of the dumbest players in his time?
I think it's definitely a dumb period for him. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, KR, he was already involved. He was already suspended 3 months ago,
Yep. 2 to 3 months ago, yeah.
2 months ago, 2 months ago. He was already suspended 2 months ago for the same thing. He issued an apology. They interviewed him. He said he was
We went to like a did he go to a like a psychiatrist or something like that?
facility or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, the
That's a
same
scam.
thing. The, s- 3 months later, the same thing happened, and now he issued another. He issued another apology,
Oh.
and he said, "I know.
Was this one heartfelt or was this
I don't
please
think
give me my money back?
no. Yeah, he issued another apology, saying, "Yeah, I know my words.
And words mean nothing. I'm not a man of my word.
You probably don't want to hear this, but it's it. Let me check this out. It
Is this
says."
on his IG?
I know, yeah, I know I've disappointed a lot of people who have supported me. This is a journey, and I recognize there is more work to do. My words may not mean much right now, but I take full accountability for my actions. I'm committed to continuing to work on myself. This is, I mean, three months later, the same incident, KR. What are we talking about?
I think believe it or not, is he trying to leave the game? Because
Which game?
he's trying to leave another and go into another because this is what he posted a week ago.
Yeah.
This is what he has posted a week ago. Basically, leaving a picture of him leaving court. Is he now trying to transition to a new career?
No, that was him leaving the playoffs, the NBA playoffs. That's why
Maybe the NBA for good.
I don't know, but I mean they've been calling this guy a lot of names. Of course, the Ja Morant, Kwame Brown, I believe, called him
NBA
NBA
dumb
dumb
boy.
NBA dumb boy.
Guys, if you want, before sorry, I'm interrupting you, RJ. Guys, we're gonna give some flowers to Kwame because he has been going in on Ja, maybe trying to talk to him as an uncle. Guys, but let me open it up. Look how many videos he has on this topic. Like, I think it's right now it's about 12, probably, or maybe 11, between 10 and 12 about this Ja Morant stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean, I would say we cannot play it because he's cursing a lot in his videos, but he's talking a lot of truth about this whole situation. So continue, Audrey.
Yeah. But what I've seen is that a lot of former players, a lot of journalists, when they talk, I mean, they call him dumb, they call him a moron. But the reason they do it is because they're basically saying so that he's wasting his talents, he's wasting his potential. They asked John Sally, who played with, he played for the Bad Boys Pistons. He also played with Michael Jordan. He's he's won multiple championships, and he knows a lot of people. He's a very smart guy. And they asked him, he was on Vlad TV, I believe, a couple of years back, and Vlad asked him, who does he believe will be the next superstar? You know, you had
Mm,
Jordan and LeBron James, now you have Steph Curry, and he said, who do you believe will be the face of the league? And he said, Ja Morant. Vlad said, Ja Morant, do you believe? Ja Morant. He didn't even say Ja
Did you say Ja Morant or John Moran or Morant?
Morant. I think he said Morant. Yeah. He
Morant.
didn't say Morant. He said Ja Morant. Ja Morant. Like he said,
Without
this
thinking.
guy is, and I can see why. This guy has to put, he can take over games. So they're all saying basically the same thing. Why are you wasting your talent doing something that, so trying to get respect from people that will never respect you? I think Stephen A. Smith said that he also grew up in the hood, and the guy, he knows a lot of people who got,
Clipped. The wings got clipped.
yeah, they ate dirt. Others who
The
are
wings
locked
can't
up.
fly anymore.
Others who are
Well, they're
locked
flying
up.
towards a different sphere.
I'll fly away. That's something else. But and he said that he grew up around a lot of hood cats,
Mm,
and but they always protected him from that life
mm,
because they knew that he wasn't about that life, and there was no need for him to be about that life because he had a future. And you can imagine, KR, that people people are trying to get away from that life. The whole point, the whole reason why people are living that life is to get out of that life, right? So they start to get they start to get the money to try to maybe to clean the money to get into the legitimate economy, right? So that's the whole point why people are doing this. And Ja Morant is there already at a very young age. So you see, although it's funny when you hear all the things people are saying about him, uh, some of them are really funny. They all speak from a point of concern. And I believe this is mental more than anything, KR. I mean, this guy isn't even from the hood, from what I understand. You
we went
went
to
to
a private school.
you went to a good school, but he's trying to live a life.
Infatuated about with the life.
Yeah.
A lot of suburb. So I think a lot. I do agree with you on that. Um, but before we continue, guys, remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, basically all socials at Double Thought Show on both.
Yeah.
Also, remember to subscribe to our channel so you're up to date with every time we drop a new video. RJ, we're trying to reach a goal, right?
Yes, guys, we're trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of June of this year. So we have 5 weeks to go. We greatly appreciate all your support. We see that the majority of you watch but aren't subscribed. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe because this helps us really get to our monetization goals, which in turn will help us upgrade our production, our show productions, and give you more frequency and do a lot more things. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, we see a lot of people watch this show, but they don't subscribe. So please hit on that subscribe button, and you'll be up to date. Don't forget to press on the notification bell. And of course, as we always say at the show, share the video with your friends, families. Share it with your teammates, the ones who are drifting off to the abyss. Try to get them back. And also share it with your enemies so you can distract them
Yeah. Okay.
and hit them with the share. Guys, the disclaimer already said above. So
Yes. Yes.
anyway, so let's continue with the show. Guys, I do agree with you on the fact that he's not he has lived a, let's call it, a privileged life so far. Mom and dad, yes, I have to put the this is so far. He might end up like, I don't know if you saw the video of a former NFL player working at Walmart. Now he's disgruntled.
No, I didn't though.
He made millions, and now they kicked him out because he was wilding out. Went to UFC, didn't get a contract, and now he's working at Walmart. Now he can. Anyway, let's continue. He's been living a privileged life. Went to private school, and one thing you will see always is that the people who come from the hood try to get away from this life. It's always, or they don't want to show it. Well, it's a different generation as well, so it's a gray area because these new kids, this new generation loves to show the blicky and talking crazy to the apps on Instagram and all the socials. But traditionally, people want to get away. They don't want to show their hand. They don't want to show their illegal activities. They don't want to be part of this. They don't want to be affiliated because they're trying to clean up. It's always the lames who try to join, and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there, guys. It's always the lames that try to join gangs after 20 to show something. There is a rapper, well known. He's not here anymore. He he raps about his mama. He started thugging after 20. He's not here anymore. We all know him.
Yeah. But if you hear the stories of the real people who are like the real gangsters, the real gangbangers, they will tell you that they all viewed him as a phony. But you have another one, KR, and that's Chris Brown. I think, and John Sally has some gems, man.
What do you say?
I think this was John Sally as well, but I'm not sure actually. So guys, please let me know if it was John Sally or someone else. But he said that Chris Brown had the opportunity to reach the icon level of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Because dude can sing, dude can dance, dude is I mean, the ladies love him. Instead, he chose the gangster route.
So woo,
But what happens is,
breeze. How did he say? Breezy.
but what happens is that when you choose that route, you automatically lose potential business.
Yes.
People, companies, reputational companies will choose not to associate themselves with you.
Yeah.
And if you take, and you have people who do it the other way, like as you mentioned, people before 20, after 20. You have like a country Wayne who is balling right now with his kids, balling right now with his movies. He's balling right now with all his ventures. But he started in the streets, transitioned to comedy, and realized that, hey, if I don't curse, I get even more opportunities. So he chose not to curse. So they're going a different direction. Kevin Hart, who made different kind of jokes in the past, now I forgot on which podcast he was, which platform, but he said that he declined certain options because he thinks they say, oh man, you've changed. He's like, "Yeah, you're supposed to change because now he's getting more deals, more opportunities, big deals. So you're going somewhere else, I think, but I said change.
I'm not
I
gonna
didn't.
say it.
I
I'm
didn't.
not gonna say it. It's gonna be very disrespectful what I'm gonna say. So
I didn't say transform. I said change.
no. I'm not. No. I'm
Uh,
talking. I was going to say something about Ja and also the hood, but was going to be very disrespectful to the to the shops in the hood. So I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Even though I
Marlo.
want to, even though I want to, I'm not gonna say it. But
Ja wants to be Marlo, man, of the wire. And
no, he's gonna end up. He's gonna end up like not like Marlo. Marlo stepped out of the game. He's
who's
gonna
it?
end up like what's the guy's name? The cousin of that got clipped early in the game. He got locked up and they clipped him. Ah, I forgot the bald guy.
I know who you mean. I know who you mean.
He
Yeah, I
didn't
know
want
you.
to be in the game. He wanted. He's not that. He's not of that life.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
got
yeah.
into it because he didn't have any way. He wanted out, and then they clipped the ball. Guys, this is and at the end of the day, I think it's funny, RJ. The fact that people are talking about where is his dad, where is his parents. This guy is 23 at this point, so he's a grown man. Let's have grown men talk with this guy because he's not a kid anymore. Whatever his dad says to him, he's gonna look at his dad and say, "Dad,
What hood are you from?
not dad. Dad, I have to break it to you. I'm the breadwinner now. I have 200 million in the bank. I have nothing to. You have nothing to say to me. Whatever his dad tells to it, you can clearly see this guy lives a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's not gonna listen to his dad, even if you talk about the dad was there. This is Ja, and I'm of the belief that we should help people reach their full potential, and Ja is showing us where he wants to go, so we should help him.
Yeah. I think that the help is coming in the form of tough love. They are definitely going to. I mean, Stephen A. said on his show, not first take, just his podcast, that a source close to Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, and Dumars, also a former bad boy Pistons.
Mm.
Back in the days when they were winning, man. Oh man, these days, these years, it's been very rough, bro. We didn't even get the first pick, man, in the draft. But anyway, that's we
I
even
know
lost
how.
that. No, just let me rant from it. We even lost the first draft, man. The first pick of the draft, and we finished bottom last. But anyway, probably shouldn't say we anymore. But
What?
anyway,
What
this
draft? What draft number was Ja? Because maybe you guys would have drafted the new Ja, and then you you're at the same location. You draft the wrong guy. You think you draft a generational talent, and then you get a generational shooter. Anyway,
Ja Morant was the second overall.
yeah, you draft a new Ja Morant. You instead of you getting someone who's someone who's clinical on the court. You get a Hernandez type of guy, and then you're lost as a franchise as well.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that's another one, by the way. He's gonna end up like Hernandez
well, I don't know. So let's see what happens.
if he
But
doesn't change his ways. That's what I'm trying to say.
if he doesn't change his ways, yeah. But if so, that's what I was saying. Stephen E said at the source close to Joe Dumars, he's of the disciplinary committee, I believe, and Adam Silver, who is the commissioner of the NBA, said that he'll get at least 6 months. The article you showed indicated that it might be, or at least
6 months of a season of
half a
6 months of a
season,
year.
half a season,
Have a
not say
season.
sex, but that he would get at least half a season suspension. And the article you showed mentioned that it might be even a year. And according to the source, Stephen A's source, it's because the NBA didn't act harshly the first time because the Grizzlies, so Ja Morant's team suspended him
Mm,
for 8 games, and the NBA didn't. They agreed with the suspension, but they didn't do anything else, right?
additional. Yeah.
And so their stance is that because this happened within a short period of time, we're talking about a 2 to 3 month span, a time span, and the severity of what he did, it's a repeat offense, and the fact that they didn't do anything the first time, so they acted very leniently towards him, that this time they will not be so lenient and forgiving. So he might get 6 months to or at least half a season to a season suspension due to for what he did. And I believe that's the best thing that can happen to him, because an 8 month suspension, or 8 game suspension rather, is not something that will have so much effect. It clearly didn't have any significant effect because he was on IG live doing it 2 months later. It wasn't his IG, but he was hanging with the same dude that was there in June, in the summer of last year, summer of 2020, when
Malaysia.
when Ja allegedly slapped a high schooler during a pickup game and showed his blicky. The same dude that was there in February of this year, in a car, uh, who a car that allegedly, that allegedly uh, had people in it that pointed a laser blicky on players or staff members of the Pacers organization. The same dude that was there when he flashed the blicky in March of this. I mean, it's the same dude. So it's clear it's it's a clown show. It's clear that he is not he hasn't learned this lesson. So they might try to go for half a season or a season of suspension. That's a lot of money that he will lose, and maybe then he will.
You will forever lose money, by the way.
He will.
He will. There is no way back.
It's gonna be tough for him to get
He's
back
gonna. He's gonna. Okay. He's gonna get.
because he would need to rebrand himself.
If he. Well, let's hope he doesn't
If
rebrand.
Sierra can rebrand herself, then
I don't know. Sierra never did. So she just transitioned. But the thing is this, and that's why we discussed this, because it has a law aspect on it. We basically said it already. RJ chimed on it. He's not doing anything wrong law wise, because you're allowed to have, according to the Second Amendment, you are allowed to have a blicky. Contextually, brand wise, it's totally dumb. Business wise, NBA players are businesses. At the end of the day, he's gonna forever play on a discount, because a team will say, we don't know what he's gonna do. Forever. I don't know if a rebrand even works. Well, he will have to be singing every Sunday in church, probably. That's the only way he can get back to the value he had. But forever, I do believe, as a business owner, as a team owner, I would forever pay him less than what he should actually get, because he's already shown to be a volatile situation. You never know what can happen, which can inflict harm on your brand as a team.
yeah.
That's how I see it. I think this is gonna cost him, of course, half a year. I don't know. You said for how much did he sign? 4 years.
Let's say
20.
25 years to 200,000.
So basically, he's gonna lose half of that in a season. So that's 20 million on about, probably.
I think he was set to earn about 35
35.
million.
Okay.
35 million
Half of
in per season, or this season, coming season, something to
Okay.
that.
35. So he's gonna lose 17 and a half off rip. Where is that money gonna go, by the way? Because it has to go in escrow, right? It's going back into the pockets of the team.
Yeah, so 33, 2023, 2024, 33 million, let's say 33 million base salary. And of course you have incentives and things like that. But his average salary would be approximately 38, 39 million per year, because it, of course, it keeps going up. But usually, I mean, you would need to look at a contract. But usually they would have the money would be invested in charity. So for charity or things of that nature, it's
Is the
probably in
charity
the
owned by the owner?
no. So it's, so the purpose of a fine usually is not to not to not to reimburse the organization, but to, so the organization, because or else the NBA will keep fining people and not pay them out, right? But usually the fine is not to be returned to the organization itself that is fining, but is to be used for a purpose. So a purpose or a cause, and that, I mean, the NBA probably has its guidelines for that, part. But yeah, I mean, 33 million. He's been earning a lot, but I don't know to what extent he will lose money, because, well, he will lose money, but let's say in the NBA, because he plays very well, and I think that people want him to do better, so they want to give him a chance. But if, for example, let's say if I, so he technically speaking has like 4 or 5 more years to prove himself. So he can, during those years, let's say if he continues to play and there are no incidents. And at the end of the season, and he's still good. At the end of his contract, he still has leverage. But it would have been different if his last contract was the upcoming year, because then I do agree that they would have offered him less, unless the Cleveland Browns want to make a move on him, like they did on Deshaun Watson.
That's the only way he will get full his money. If there is a Cleveland Brown in the NBA, guys, let us know in the comments which team is the equivalent of the Cleveland Browns in the NBA. Is there a team? I think I would say Knicks probably. Is there a foolish team where they basically pay players, overpay them, and then it amounts to nothing at the end of the season? Let us know in the comments.
Well, if I see what I see here, his money is fully guaranteed.
Yeah, and right.
But I don't know to what extent. Let's say in this particular case, if it's guaranteed, because there's probably a clause, right? It's guaranteed if you don't play, but you have injuries or something to that extent. But for a matter like this, I do believe that they will not pay him out.
Detrimental. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I understand what you're saying, but the as a business owner and you sports franchise always pull this off when it's contract. When there are contracts, they'll try to justify anything to give you to try to get you on a discount, and they will. I do think they will. The biggest thing is this. He will have to act like a saint for the next 3 years, and I don't think looking at how he's looking at him, RJ, looking at how he's been doing the last 2 months, it's gonna be a miracle if he can turn this around. I do think this is Ja. And he's gonna slip again. He's gonna slip. They would have to take at all times all cell phones from around him, because this is him. This is him. He likes to play with blickies and act tough. Maybe we gotta ask ourselves, maybe this is him. And that's going to be a problem with a lot of these NBA franchises. Why would I pay you 300 million if tomorrow I don't know whether there is a video going to pop up of you brandishing the gun? And this is a mess for my side. My bad. and he's gonna. I cannot play because you probably get suspended again. We're gonna miss the playoffs, and still have to pay you. What are we doing? So here, give me a discount.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, let's see. Yes.
But maybe the shoes. Let me show you guys the shoe name. Maybe the shoe name was trying to.
Hunger.
Yeah, hunger. Maybe it's trying to look into the future and what Ja might be will see in the future. Anyway, guys, RJ,
Yes. Hey,
you have something to say.
well, I have something to say as it pertains to a recap.
Yeah.
Well, in today's show, we talked about Ja Morant. We talked about the latest controversy relating to Ja Morant, which is, unless you've been living under a rock, you already know it, but which is the fact that he was in a car listening to NBA Youngboy with a friend who was clearly not a good friend, because he's been involved in he's been involved in all his other allegations and or controversial actions during the past year. But this so-called friend went on IG Live and they were playing a song, and
NBA young boy.
Talking about his ops, and Ja was waving his blicky, and
Is act
it's
right.
his firearm. And yeah, it's
We don't know if it's his, by the way. It's maybe it's from his friend.
that's not the point, bro.
What my fingerprints were on? No, not that's not mine. No, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no,
So
I'm gonna say what I want to say.
so this is the second time. So he's a suspect in a couple of cases already. Not criminal suspect, but there are investigation being conducted by the NBA for all the incidents that has taken place, and this is seems to be the last straw, or perhaps the penultimate straw, because they might not ban him from the NBA completely, but does seem like a significant punishment is due. Is it fair? Is it not fair? According to JJ Reddick, it's not, because JJ Reddick believes that he didn't do anything illegal, which is true apparently, because in Tennessee, as we understand, carrying a firearm in public is permitted. However, the NBA has its own rules, and if you are guilty of a conduct that is detrimental to the league, or you are um, doing things that are not in the best interest of the NBA as an organization is entitled to punish you. And that's what we're talking about in this particular case. And it seems like he will be punished for half a season, perhaps a whole season. A lot of people who talked about him had a lot of names for him: Ja Morant, NBA Dumbboy. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it seems like the moral of the story is that people are of the opinion that there's no reason for him to act uh, in this manner, because he has so much potential. He has the potential to be the face of the league, and he seems to want to be associated with the the street life instead of the NBA life.
Street life is
And
the
while
only thing I know.
and while and while other people are trying to get a, let's say, the a country Wayne, who was born in the hood, is has been moving away from the hood as much as possible. Stephen A. Smith also said that he is from the hood, but he moved away. At least he is from the hood. He was never about that life, because people that were about that life protected him and said, "Hey, you don't have nothing to do here. Go do your thing. You can get out. We can." So that's why we do what we're doing. You see that people are trying to get away while he's trying to get in. We hope even Steven Jackson, who former Pacers player. Well, if the laser was pointed at him, then it would have been a different game, because he was together with Runner Test, or at least they started the Malice in the Palace brawl. So that's a really tough guy as well, who's also doing great work in sports media. Uh, he defended Ja Morant in the first time around, but now he said, I can't defend him. I can't defend what he did." But you see that all in all, a majority of the people want him to do good. They want Ja to be Ja, you know. Um,
Maybe this
but
is
but maybe Ja wants to rule, and that's a different kind of Ja. But instead of being the savior, he wants to be the I mean, a gang member or something. I hope
the
not.
Chicago Reaper, the Memphis Reaper.
I don't know what it is, but if he doesn't watch out, he might become the Memphis Penitentiary Reaper. So let's see what will happen. We will definitely keep a close eye on this story, but it's a shame that he is losing money. The 8 game suspension he got a couple of months ago cost him 600,000. So if he gets half a season, approximately 41 games, do the math. It's gonna and he needs to earn. He's he was on track to earn 33 million this year. So does the 23-24 season, more or less. Take half of that away. And then if you take away taxes,
And also, don't forget
he
the
might need
Nike,
the Nike
all
deal,
the,
yeah.
all the endorsements. He's not gonna get. I mean, like I said, hunger might be in the future.
Yeah. So and what's perhaps more, mm, it's less. But if you see, for example, so many people that look, as you mentioned at the beginning of the show as well, that look up to him. You have Angel Reese, who won the NCAA tournament. It was a very who is who is projected to be one of the, let's say, to get to the WNBA, to be a star in the WNBA. When she won, she also, she met with Ja Morant. They danced. I believe they went to the same college or something. I think so. I'm not sure about that one. But so many people that look up to him, and you do something like that, you can also ruin the reputation of those around you, right? So um let's hope that, so we'll definitely keep an eye out on this story, and if there's something noteworthy, we might do a show about it or a break room episode. But yeah, Ja, at the end of the day, I seriously hope that, because KR seems to think that this is who you are. I'm more of an optimist, so prove him wrong, and prove other people who believe in you right. It would be a shame for you to throw away your career uh, for ignorant things. So yeah, but I don't know if I missed out anything. If I missed
No, I
anything.
mean, it's a good recap. Before we close out the show, guys, I want to share a part of a book. Some might know this writer, Thomas Sowell.
Thomas, so yeah.
Um, Pretty well known, controversial these days, but he has written in his book a very remarkable part, and I'm gonna share it with you guys about basically what is happening here. He says the notion that the ghetto black was the authentic black not only spread among the white and black intellectuals, it had social repercussions far beyond the intellectual community. Rooting black identity in a counterproductive culture not only reduced the incentives to move beyond that culture, it cut off those within that culture from other blacks who had advanced beyond it, who might otherwise have been sources of examples, knowledge, and experience that could have been useful for those less fortunate. But more successful blacks were increasingly depicted as either irrelevant or irrelevant non-members of the black community, or even as strangers to it. In turn, this meant that many blacks who had a wider cultural exposure and greater socioeconomic success felt a need to conform to those to some degree or another to a more narrow ghetto view of the world, perhaps using ghetto language in order to prove to prove their identity with their own race.
Yeah, it's basically trying to identify yourself. That's basically what he's saying. And guys, you don't have to agree with Thomas Sowell. I mean, you don't need to agree with anyone 100%, right? But this quote is spot on. We talked about this in a previous show as well. We It seems as though all culture, let's say the example are the examples are the ones doing good, right? Or at the top. And while in the culture, in the culture, it's always the gangsters, the ghetto guys. So that lifestyle that is being projected as what blacks have to be. Before the crack epidemic in the 80s, before the let's say the breaking of black families, a lot of black people were married. They walked with suits. I mean, they always had it. It was a struggle, of course, because never. I mean, blacks have gone through a lot, but it seems like they purpose. So in the 80s, more or less, they started to purposely target the black community to create disruption, and that's why I really like it that more and more. I mean, the platform we're streaming on right now, you can check out a lot. You can find a lot of exemplary black people doing good in business. That's becoming more and more popular as well. That's becoming more and more let's say the new cool, right? And that should be the culture. Ja Morant has the opportunity to be part of that culture, of the entrepreneurial, of the, let's say, the LeBron culture, the Rich Paul, the Tyler Perrys of the world. He has that potential. Or he can be Pookie. That's a choice that he would need to make. And yeah, let's see what will happen, man.
And I thought I was the optimistic one.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks to everyone that has tuned in to today's show. Whatever your thoughts are, please let us know in the comment section below. Remember to rate the show by pressing the like button. Follow us on our socials at Double Thought Show on Facebook and Instagram. Share the video with your friends, your families, and your enemies. Remember to subscribe to the channel as well. It's really important that you do so because this helps us get monetized and in turn will help us to upgrade the production of our shows. As KaiR always says at the end of the show,
I can only show you the door.
And behind that door is always your friends. Real friends will warn you when you're drifting off. Yes, men will say, let's do what you do, even if it's a bad idea. Put it on, guys. Put it on. Just remember, have good friends and filter your inner circle. So you always have people that are critical about what you're going to do and also tell you the truth before it's too late. Remember, guys, the life you save will be your own.
Yes, yes. Hey, guys, let's have a healthy conversation in the comment section below. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see each other in the next one. Until next time, peace.
Yo.